Hey guys, don't you love when game companies do half-assed attempts at apologies when they claim to do that they want one thing, but then they're just the entire time they completely do the opposite? I do too. So Assassin's Creed Shadows, I'm sure you've seen it. People were, about Yasuke, who is a black samurai, and like, oh my god, it's factually correct and historically accurate. No, the story of Yasuke being a samurai and this and that, that was the account of one person, a white dude, who somehow thinks he knows more than the entirety of Japan. Were there accounts of like one documented account of Yasuke? Yeah. But was he this prominent figure and oh my god, he was this and no. It was a story created by a freaking white dude. Um so we have you have the company here doing this crap, saying they want authenticity and realism and respecting Japanese culture, but they are doing anything but. Like, apparently they're using Chinese architecture instead of Japanese architecture. In a game that takes place in feudal Japan, there's Chinese architecture. They're taking a person who had no real prominent uh, role to play during feudal Japan, and they're making him like the main character. Also, I think it's hilarious that this game allows you to only play as like either Yasuke or some Japanese chick. Of all the samurai that were in Japan, of all the, I'm sure, amazing tales of all these legendary samurai, you pick Yasuke and a Japanese chick. Authenticity. But we're gonna get into their apology. So don't forget to smash that. No, I'm kidding. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. To our esteemed Japanese community, a message from the Assassin's Creed Shadows development team. First, we want to express our heartfelt thanks for all your support for the Assassin's Creed series. We don't really care. For many of our team, creating an Assassin's Creed game set in feudal Japan has been a long cherished dream because there's so much crap about it, it'd be kind of hard to fuck it up. But no, they found a way to do it. They found a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, and they found a way. Since the announcement of Assassin's Creed Shadows, we have received many positive reactions, but also some criticism, including from you, our Japanese players. I mean, kind of valid. It's something you might want to listen to. Because if you're basing a game on feudal Japan and you're trying to say that, oh, we're trying to get it as historically accurate, but then you say basically fuck history, and then you start adding people that weren't really prominent or adding Chinese architecture, people are going to look at that and be like, are you sure you're trying to be as close to history as possible? Because you go to Japan, you're not going to find Chinese architecture. That'd be like, that'd be kind of weird. That'd be kind of weird. We share your passion for history and deeply respect your care for the historical. We share your passion. Yeah, I'm sure you care just as much as the entirety of Japan. Truly, you care about the history and their heritage just as much as Japan does. We would like to address a few points to clarify our intentions and creative decisions. And don't worry, this is going to get into our favorite man-hating freaking writer for Kotaku, but we'll get into that when we're done with this. Overall authenticity efforts. We have put a significant effort into ensuring an immersive and respectful representation of feudal Japan. Including a black samurai that really wasn't prominent, Chinese architecture, a flag that was apparently used in, what it's called, My God, what am I thinking? What's the word here? Reenactments. So there's no like. However, our intention has never been to present any of our Assassin's Creed games, including Assassin's Creed Shadows, as factual representations of history or historical characters. And yet, right up here, an immersive and respectful representation of feudal Japan. So, which is it? Are you saying it's fiction, or are you saying you're basing it on historical events? You can't have both. So, I mean, you're taking a character, again, Yasuke was most likely a real person, but he wasn't as prominent as. So you're taking the fact that he wasn't prominent and making him so in a game, but while claiming to want to stick to, historical accuracy. That's not how it works. But they also claim that they're also not going to remove him as a main character, which shows they don't fucking care about historical accuracy. So, of course, the Japanese response is it's like they're having none of this. I think they're just tired of America and what they're doing to these freaking characters. Um, Instead, we aim to spark curiosity and encourage players to explore and learn about the historical settings we get inspired by. Yes, because I always wanted to look up Japan and just look at the beautiful Chinese architecture. You know, so beautiful. Assassin's Creed Shadows is first and foremost designed to be an entertaining video game that tells a compelling historical fiction set in feudal Japan. Historical fiction, immersive, respectful representation. Our team extensively collaborated with external consultants, historians, researchers, and internal teams at Ubisoft Japan to inform our creative choices. Despite these sustained efforts, we acknowledge that some elements of our promotional materials have caused concern within the Japanese community. For this, we sincerely apologize. All game footage presented so far is in development, and the game will keep evolving until launch. But they're not going to remove Yasuke as the main character because, historical accuracy. All game footage, blah, 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 based on the constructive criticism we have received. We will continue our efforts until we put this game into your hands and beyond. We also want to clarify that while we have been consulting with many people throughout the development process, there are in no way responsible for the decision that are taken by the creative teams in the interest of gameplay and entertainment. Consequently, we respectfully request that any criticism not be directed at our collaborators, both internal or external. No, you don't have to worry about that. I think everyone has no problem putting the blame on you. Creative liberties and historical inspirations. While we strive for authenticity in everything that we do, Assassin's Creed games are a work of fiction inspired by real historical events and figures, while they, try to stick with historical accuracy. Historical accuracy, including a character that wasn't prominent at all, and it was all created by some fucking white dude. Also, did you know that they're like making a stage production of Yasuke now, apparently? From its inception, the series has taken creative license and incorporated fantasy elements to craft engaging and immersive experiences. A representation of Yasuke in our game is an illustration of this. His unique and mysterious life made him an ideal candidate to tell an Assassin's Creed story with the setting of feudal Japan as a backdrop. Not the number of legendary samurais that I'm sure exist in fucking feudal Japan, with fully fleshed out stories that you can fully comprehend and interpret. No, the one dude who no one really knows anything about. Yeah, that's. I heard other people say it's pretty obvious. I mean, again, the main characters you get to play as are Yasuke, a black man, and a Japanese woman. Gee, I wonder what they're going for here, because nothing says authentic. Nothing says authentic feudal Japan like playing as a black man. And that's not any kind of race problem. Historically accurate, if that's what they were trying to go for, even if taking liberties. Yes, because when I think of feudal Japan, I think of a black man. While Yasuke is depicted as a samurai in Assassin's Creed Shadows, we acknowledge that this is a matter of debate and discussion. We have woven this carefully into our narrative, and with our other lead character, the Japanese Naue, who is equally important in the game. Yeah. So you have a black samurai and a female ninja. Who is equally important to the game. Our dual protagonists provide players with different gameplay styles. Because when people think of feudal Japan, they think of a black samurai and a female ninja. But sure, let's go for historical accuracy. We greatly value your feedback and encourage you to continue sharing your thoughts respectfully. While we understand that meeting everyone's expectations is difficult, we sincerely hope that when Assassin's Creed Shadow launches on November 15th, players in Japan and around the world will appreciate the dedication, effort, and passion we have poured into it. And basically, Japanese players are like, get bent. Just get bent. And so this leads to our favorite Alyssa Mercante. This was never about anything other than hate. Now, keep in mind, this is a woman who has "men are the enemy" tattooed on her body. That tells you everything you need to know about this fucking human. Movements for ethics in game journalism or against forced DEI in video games. God. You can't help yourself, can you? You just can't help yourself. So, it's terrible but funny because things are jokes. On July 23rd, in response to the ongoing backlash against a black lead character in the upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows, development or Ubisoft released a lengthy statement. The response on X were what you would expect: racist images, slurs, and calls for historical accuracy in a video game series that has always been steeped in science fiction. But yet, in that same apology, they're telling you they're going for historical accuracy. So they're taking a character that had really no prominence in feudal Japan and now putting in forefront, apart from, against the some of the, again, go look it up. Just put in legendary samurai from feudal Japan. Here you go. Google. The most famous are the three great unifiers. And these are all Oda Nobunaga, Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Ieyasu Tokugawa. And then here's Japan's 12 most famous. So you have all these other samurai, and you make a story, historically accurate story about a dude who was no one knows anything about, except for one white dude who claims that he had some kind of prominence in the past. Like, you're listening to this one guy over the people in Japan. But, sure. Historical accuracy. Unpublished community note, a feature frequently blah blah blah, reads Assassin's. That's terrible. It's terrible, people. A fleshly but ferociously loud group of gamers will tell you Assassin's Creed Shadow Backlash is about respecting Japanese culture or refusing to accept woke ideologies that are being forced into their games. Because it is being... Why do you think the only two characters you can play as are a black dude or a female samurai when you have a game set in feudal Japan? Do not tell me there's anything other than that going into this. Oh God. Oh God, she brings it up. By consulting groups who have no real power. But just like in 2014, during the first full-throated, I would say that, but she hates dudes, so apparently she's not used to getting full-throated. Although she is full-throating these companies. So, I mean, I guess throated iteration of, uh-oh, Gamergate. This was never about anything other than hate. And then just talking about fucking Trump and, uh-oh, Capitol riots, January 6th. Oh, the worst day in American history, when all those unarmed people marched to the Capitol for Trump and his... See, this is like this whole thing. It's all about like, the right, Donald Trump. This is what she thinks of you. How does she still have a fucking job? How does she have a job still? You know, she's such a fucking cunt. The reactionary right wing, yes, because it's only right wing people complaining about this. That's the problem with these stupid fucking cunts. They think it's only right-wingers. They're not even listening to the people on their own side. And when they do hear people from their own side complaining about this stuff, they're labeled as far-right extremists. They're labeled as the fascists and the racists and the homophobes and the transphobes and this and that. Because these people live in such a small, isolated fucking bubble, they don't want to hear anything from anyone else that doesn't go along with their fucking ideology. People like her are fucking miserable, pathetic cunts. It's a special brand of hatred, a sort of backwards logic boomerang careening through the air on its way back from progress. Eventually, a substantial number of women, queer folk, and minorities got jobs in video game. You want to know why? You think they were hired naturally? We have fucking talking about inclusivity. We have talking about Me Too and Black Lives Matter. Again, this is a woman who has, you know, men are the enemy on tattooed on her. So all in all, you have numerous samurai that could have been forefront in this game. And you chose the one who had, like, no backstory at fucking all. No backstory. The story of him was, you know, all the gaps that were filled in were by a white dude. But now, that one white dude thinks he knows more than the entirety of fucking Japan. Like, all the fucking people in Japan who studied samurai and you know, that kind of... Nope, somehow this one white dude who wrote this story is somehow... You got the quartering, get woke, go broke. Disparu, Japanese history belongs to the Japanese. You should have a Japanese samurai. Imagine if you stuck with a Japanese main character for a game that takes place in feudal Japan. Why do people still buy Assassin's Creed games in the first place? Feels like a lot was said, but nothing was said at the same time. Change the character's name. Easy fix. No, that's terrible. That's terrible. I imagine a world where you made a game based on Japan, but without a DEI character, and where you made it historically accurate at least. Sure, some fantasy here, but that's fantasy here and there, but just stick to the script. Funny how, yeah, apparently people love that game. It's almost like one studio set out to make a good, respectful game, and you guys had other things in mind, like manufacturing engagement as meat on a mediocre franchise. Yeah, people love that game. Should have made him Japanese. Just play Ghost of Tsushima. Master of the TDS. Translation: we are wrong, but we don't want to change anything. Please still buy our game. Right. Huh. With all due respect, you guys just don't learn. So, again, this game takes place in feudal Japan. We have numerous legendary samurai that this game could have been focused on. They talk about wanting to represent and respect Japanese culture and try to get historical accuracy, but then they don't fucking have actual Japanese architecture. They use a black samurai who wasn't prominent during that time at all, who may have existed in Japan and may have had a title of samurai, but he didn't play any prominent role in feudal Japan. The only two characters you can play as are a fucking black dude and a female shinobi. What? What? And then you have, of course, Alyssa Mercante being her typical fucking self, trying to put the blame game on the fans because she fucking hates you. She fucking hates you. These companies fucking hate you. Anytime you have any criticism of what they're doing, they just show their true colors. They fucking hate you. And they'll just come out, oh well, if you don't play it, it's not, we don't care, don't buy the game, blah, blah, blah. And then you have the fucking the bootlickers like her, like, oh my god, you need to stop being so mean. This is a great, wonderful game full of diversity and inclusion. Donald Trump, Orange Man bad. If you don't like this game, then you're a far-right extremist that kicks puppies and you probably want to drown your grandma. It's just every fucking time, because these people are so fucking ignorant, they have no real rebuttal apart from phobes, isms, and trying to just make you seem like you're the problem. No, these companies are the fucking problem. The fucking game journalists like Alyssa Mercante are the fucking problem. Pointing out the fact that Yasuke had no real prominence in feudal Japan, and yet they want to make him as the main character that doesn't make us racist. It's like, oh, we want to go for historical accuracy. Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do. And if you truly believe that, I've got a bridge I'd like to sell you. But yeah, we have numerous samurai that could have been a story in the game. Are they even going to pop up? I don't know. Probably not. But we're tired of this. The fucking Japanese players weren't taking very kindly to it. The issue of historical retelling is no longer a issue, but a Lockley issue. Yeah. I apologize for comparing it to other games, but although Ghost of Tsushima is fiction and some historical revisions are made, it does have a definite respect for Japanese culture. The camera work was reminiscent of Kurosawa's films, the placement of animals that do not actually live in Tsushima. The equipment used was from the Sengoku period rather than Kamakura period, and the villain, the Mongolian general, was a fictional character. For the advertising for this film, really a film, it's a game, but you get it. But yeah, the Japanese people are just tired of this. You know, this shit flies in America because everyone will just call you a phobus or ism. But in a place like Japan, they don't tolerate this shit. They're not going to tolerate it. You know, they take their fucking history very seriously, and they're not going to tolerate you fucking it up for a video game just for some fucking brownie points with you know, oh my god, representation. They're not going to tolerate it. So they, they apparently have no plans of changing Yasuke. I mean, even changing his name wouldn't even really matter. Because then, if it's not Yasuke, it's a made-up character who didn't exist at all during feudal Japan. So, seriously, guys, not too late. Not too late. But one thing after another with these people.
Oh my god. You guys are being so mean. You guys are phobes, and isms. Ugh. I'm Alyssa Mercante, and I'm a fucking coward who I don't do anything but call people names when I disagree with them. Ugh. All men are the enemy, but you can trust me in my non-biased opinion.
Fuck off. Stupid fucking cunt. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. I'll see you guys later. Bye.